Hi, we're at the TEDxLeicester, and this afternoon I'm very lucky to have one of the speakers with me who has just done an amazing talk on entrepreneurship and also so many other things. She'd moved the audience, moved the people, and is just a credit to moving people and getting people to think a little bit differently, a bit outside their comfort zone. But first of all, for those people that don't know what you've just talked about, can you just introduce yourself to the camera and what you talked about?
My name's Jessica Okorro, Jessie, and I spoke about my journey of trying to understand STEM and setting up an organisation called Be Science STEM, where we try and explore STEM using creative and innovative methods. And I spoke about how I had to overcome loads of barriers, to get to where I am today, which is not that far into the STEM industry, but still having to get this far.
You say you've overcome so many barriers, and I think for me, what your message out there was one of the things that really resonated with me was they don't look like me. Can you explain a little bit for those people, because that was so moving and so powerful.
Yeah, I was. When I say they don't look like me, not me physically, because no one looks like me, but what I meant was that none of them were women. When I was searching, when I look at who are in these organisations, they're not women, and they're not women of colour. So it kind of put me off, It made me feel like maybe it's not possible. I didn't have a role model to look up to that is working in an organisation. And that really did make me think maybe it's not possible, So that's what I meant by they didn't look like me.
No, I thought that was really, really powerful. And also what came across was the fact that you were encouraging more people, no matter what obstacles they had in front of them, knock the obstacles down, keep moving, keep going forward.
Yeah.
And what are you hoping that people will leave with today from your talk? What message, what takeaway message?
I would say there's 3 messages. One, that there's always going to be barriers unless we start actively trying to fight them down. The second is that we have to believe in ourselves sometimes. And everyone may not believe in us, and we may not have no more role models, but we're going to have to push to keep on going and believing in ourselves. It's really important. And then lastly, is that STEM's for everyone. STEM has no colour, it has no class. It's just things that are in our everyday lives, and everyone should be able to access it with regards to education freely in the community and be able to learn it without feeling that they're not smart enough. So yeah.
You also talked about the frustration with corporate and funding and people really needing to put their money where their mouth is, really. Let's cut through it. That was the message there. That was the message
what
there.
Did I say?
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Putting their money in their pockets. I said mumbo jumbo, yeah.
No, there was no mumbo jumbo. It was very direct and it was very honest, and I think that is what is missing to encourage more people. So what tips would you give to people who are struggling at the moment, who want to go into science and want to do the kind of things that you've done, and because you've overcome so much and you've just kept going, so what tips would you give for the future?
What I would say is that if you've never done it before, it's going to be really hard for them to believe in you, so you're going to have to carry on pushing until you get there. Also, the fact that it is a risk when it comes to money. These corporates have outcomes that they're trying to reach, and they have targeted areas that they're trying to have an impact in, and maybe you're not what they're looking for. So it's best to carry on looking, even if it's desperately and scarcely.
And I suppose the last question is what would you say to people who want to come to TEDx next year in Leicester? How would you encourage those people to get more involved in these events?
I think number 1, volunteering. I think the team that did organise the event, Sidi and her family, Alan, they put so much energy into it. They're really passionate. They worked really hard, and they were always a phone call away. I did doubt myself a lot whilst in this period, and they carried on pushing me, carried on having a cup of tea with me, and it was a real development personally with them. So I would say join the volunteering team, come along. The speakers are amazing, their stories are amazing, and yeah, just have fun. Come next year, definitely.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and I can honestly say you are like a fireball of energy, and I don't think nothing's going to stop in your way. So I look forward to seeing you doing more speaking events in the future, because you were brilliant.
Thank you.
So take that away today. Thanks for your time today. It's been brilliant.
Thank you. Bye.